Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Sharon Berkowitz, and we're live today from SunGates Center in Wheeling, Illinois. And SunGates Center is a holistic wellness center, and for more information, you can go to sungatescenter.com for upcoming events. And I'd like to introduce to you today our special guest, Jennifer Burkhart. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thanks, Sharon, and thanks, Rita and SunGates for having me. It's really nice that you brought me here today.
Yes, and we've known each other actually for a number of years, and we've come together now for this special event that we could share with you more about Jennifer's work. So Jennifer Burkhart is formally trained as an occupational therapist. After a series of events shifting her life direction, she became professionally trained in the intuitive arts. Presently, she uses a vast array of techniques in her practice. The most powerful of all the techniques is the Ancestral Clearing Techniques. All sessions are geared towards breaking the perceived barriers in our conscious and unconscious that prevent one from their natural and healthy state of being. Each personal and group session that is offered works on identifying and releasing the mental, emotional, and physical patterns that affect us directly and indirectly, and including our ancestors and lineage. This is so interesting, I can't wait to hear more. Our goal is to shift into a new state of consciousness that aligns with authentic living. Jennifer helps clients ranging from physical, emotional, and mental traumas to relationship and financial issues. This work applies to groups such as businesses and families, as well as couples and individuals. We live a harmonic life when we align our beliefs with our authentic self. Well, welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Jennifer, you call yourself an energy intuitive. Can you tell me what this means and what you do?
Sure. Energy intuitive is a term that I started with a while ago. And basically, I started using it because everything is made of energy. And I think it's a nice overall description as to what I do. I use a variety of techniques in my practice, and everything is geared towards, like what you read, is geared towards helping people harmonize their beliefs with their purpose in life. So take, for instance, if something is happening in your life and you have some type of block that you keep coming up against, I use all these different techniques to help release that block or help you release that block for yourself. And in so doing, be able to help you go forward on your path. And it could be anything from emotional to physical to relationships to financial, anything. So it really doesn't leave anything out.
Right, and everything is a relationship, even the relationship with yourself, with your family, with other people, what you mentioned, and the list can go on and on. I mean, it even goes into sexual, it can go into either, how we deal with our families, our friends, and our businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you tell me a little more about what you do and how this work may benefit others?
Sure. So I see people individually, and I also see people with group events. And basically, individually, people come to me and they describe the situation of what's happening to them. And what I do is I use a vast array of techniques. I'm well versed in, I'm trained in craniosacral therapy. I'm a Reiki master, and then I have a lot of energy background where I've had master teachers such as Katie Hanna, and then Alan Seppius, who's also a master teacher who is not here in physical form anymore. And I use other techniques like light weaving, things like that. And it's all based on energy. And it's based on tuning into the person, connecting with them, and helping them to reveal what's keeping them from going forward in their life. So they might remember something, or they might feel discomfort or a blockage within their body. And it's really helping them to tune in and to see what that is about. And then I use one of the best techniques of all, which is a technique created by John Newton, and it's the Ancestral Clearing Technique. And that really uses the idea of forgiveness or resolving and releasing in order to allow that energy to disperse and to kind of go back from where it came, or to transform, so that it's not that same dense energy anymore. And energy, as you know, can take many different forms, and release and resolve, so that not only that person is being helped, but the ancestors and the lineage is being helped as well. And in this time, in space-time dimension, and it pretty much covers it all. So those techniques are used either individually or with groups, or even with couples or in relationships. So it's not too often, or more often than not, I do get couples, and then I also get relationships between mothers and daughters, or mothers and sons, and vice versa, because, as you know, I'm an occupational therapist as well, and so they'll hear that I do these other alternative techniques as well, and then that helps to resolve and release them as well.
Right,
So,
absolutely. And you know, John Newton's work is phenomenal. I'm familiar with it,
Absolutely.
and I'm familiar with how you do the work as well, which is fantastic. So I highly recommend it. And what I've noticed too is in the work, what's so exciting about it is that it brings up things for you that needs to be cleared away, and it disperses that energy and releases it from you. So almost suddenly that you feel a change in your demeanor, or you feel a difference in your body, where you just feel something happening, like there is a shift. And you may notice a shift right away, or you may notice it coming soon, coming later. Maybe it just needs a process just to occur. But then that energy does shift for you. And then amazing things happen, like your life changes phenomenally, because then you've overcome those obstacles, those limitations, any negativity or anything that you may or may not even be aware of. So it brings it up to a conscious level in order for it to be cleared. It's almost like the ocean, like bringing things up to the surface, and then the sun takes that away and clears it, and then it cycles again. So, but it just keeps cleansing and clearing, so that you can live the best life that you can at your highest and best potential.
Yes, you should do this.
I do a lot of work myself.
Yes, I know. But
So.
you really summed it up really nicely. I often like to think of the quote, or it's not even, I don't even know if I'm going to phrase this correctly, but that a mustard seed could move a mountain. So the mustard seed is able to move the mountain, and it's not that the actual mustard seed is actually physically moving the mountain. It's that, we're shifting our perception, so the mountain doesn't even exist in what we were looking at before. So, and when we're so inundated with like things that have happened with our ancestors and our lineage from beyond, and sometimes we don't even know what it is, and there's no judgment with this work. It can be absolutely anything. And the beauty about it is sometimes you don't even know what it is, but the forgiveness prayers and the resolving and the releasing is just, it puts a whole nother spin on it, that you're cleaning up and clearing out things that have been there that you didn't even know were kind of pressing down on you and keeping you from attaining your goals, and keeping you from going forward, and keeping you from taking that next step, or the same thing that kept happening over and over again. It's like you're on this hamster wheel and you can't get off, and you don't know why.
Right.
And then you're beating yourself up for it all the time. Well, it's time to stop beating yourself up for it, because it's really just as simply as asking for help, resolving and releasing it through the power of words, and connecting through energy, and then cleaning up and clearing out for that, which is a big part of the work I do. And John's techniques are amazing. They absolutely work. You don't have to touch anyone. It's not that you're actually doing anything. It's just the presence. Now I actually, combine other things too. Sometimes I'll do the other work I've learned with it, depending on the person, because
Right.
you never know. Some people have a little bit of harder time with releasing, and other people, it's swift, just like you described it. You're just, it's just done and taken care of. And others need a little more work. Like, you never know what car, you don't know what's wrong with your car. You got to take it in, and you have to be pretty specific about what's going on, or where the noise is coming from, and what you're feeling and what you're sensing in order to get to what it is. So it can be very simple, and it can be complex as well.
Right.
So this is why we do it.
Yeah.
It's just
And what this work does is it releases and helps let go of our judgments and how critical that we can be about ourselves and about other people. And when we let go of that and have some forgiveness where, we could allow that to just be what that was and not keep judging it, that releases us. Because at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about who we are, who we truly are being. And if we could come to that peace and that we could not have that judgment and live with love towards ourselves and love towards others, then this whole world would be a whole different place.
absolutely.
So Jennifer, how did you get started in this work and why do you do this?
Oh, okay, good question. So when I was growing up, I had this incredibly colorful family, and colorful as in lots of grays, lots of so I had a lot of just a lot of things happen as I was growing up. A lot of problems with addictions that people had in my family, diseases, a lot of mental instability. And I never realized it and didn't know, because that was all that I knew. Okay. And so when I finally left, I had a lot of help when I was growing up too, from outside sources as well. So I think that's attributed to how well I did get through my family. So I went on in life, and I'd always things would always work out in some manner. And I always had kind of this perspective that no matter what happened, it was happening for a reason. I didn't know where that came from. It wasn't till later in life, when I got married and I had my firstborn child. I had already had my master's. I already had my master's degree in occupational therapy, and I had my first child, and he was born with a birth defect. And it was such a case that it was so it was so large and such a large birth defect that they actually reported him because they thought they used it for teaching. And in the process of this whole process of his birth and what was happening to him, being trained in a medically based field, I was taught that he would be a certain way. But that instinct in me that stemmed from when I was a little girl, that always knew that some things happened for a reason, and that there was always something to be done, always something to improve upon. That just kind of kicked in, and the mother instinct kicked in as soon as he was born.
Rather than just always listening to what other people are telling you, like doctors' labels and their meaning towards what it is, that you knew that there was something greater.
Well, and granted, I had spent all these years studying. So I had my master's, and so I was in occupational therapy. So I was, trained in that medical world, but I also had this other side of me that just was like, what? You're going to tell me what my kid is going to do? Right. And he's just born. And it wasn't a pretty picture. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate to this. So I spent pretty much his first 10 years of his life studying, learning about alternative therapies that we call alternative now, that are actually used quite often. Back then, they were not used. Craniosacral therapy was just getting started. I remember the cost to even become a craniosacral therapist was a fraction it is today.
How many years ago was this?
So that was 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
I ended up finding Reiki, and I had a Reiki master, a personal person working with me. I wasn't going through all those, you had to do these classes. She was working with me and teaching me through my son, and then eventually I would bring on clients. And so she did all my master chefs. And then I ended up just learning from her, learning about Eastern philosophy, learning about chakras, learning about the energy centers of your body. And then she developed a school, the Pennsylvania School of Spiritual Healing. And there's another school now that's going on, that's taking its place. And through that, her name is Katie Anna. Alan Sethius was also her partner through this as well, who's now, he's an ascended master. And I learned light weaving from him. I used all of these techniques in my family, in my son, in everything that we were doing. And my son was thriving. He was not going down the same path as every other kid with the birth defect that he had. And he was supposed to have a lot, like he has at least 5 different doctors that followed him, never had any surgeries, never needed any medications, never needed any of the surgical interventions that they have year after year. And he was an anomaly to what they were used to.
And more people need to be aware that there's some healing that can take place that it doesn't follow always Western medicine. We could use it in a conjunction with it, but you can also, check to make sure that that's what you truly want to be doing, but because you follow that path.
Yes.
The Eastern philosophy
so I always
and medicine.
had that balance. I think it's very important to have that relationship with your doctor, because it's,
Right.
I think the combination of the two is a great way to go.
Right.
I think you can gather what you need from each place and then make it into your own. And that's what we did.
That's your choice. It's about making those choices.
So through all of this, but I was always coming upon like little things here and there that I just couldn't get over, and I felt like there was just some things that weren't being resolved within me, and I would see them play out in my family. It was incredibly frustrating, which brings me to John's work for the Ancestral Clearings. When I stumbled upon him several years ago and saw what he did and went, that's it. Like that's what completes this.
That was the key.
And so once I integrated all of this together, it changed everything. Like the clients would come, we'd have 1 or 2 sessions, and we'd be done. And then they would see the results right away. And my own son now is, and I use it in my family all the time, all of the techniques, but most importantly, this just one simple one. And my kids, they're able to go through things much at an easier level, understanding that everything truly that comes with them, we can work through it. And knowing that using all these techniques and the Ancestral Clearing Technique is a big factor in the ability for you to clear out your body, for you to become clear, and to be able to move anything that comes at you. To toot my son's horn, he's getting to become like a professional para athlete, which is huge for him. He's looked at no different. The schools celebrate him, and he is celebrated for what he's accomplished in life.
And it's so important, though, to celebrate even the small shifts, like every step that we take, that there's something new coming. And that what that does is opens up the universe, to infinite creator, that we're moving forward and realizing our own true potential. And then when we keep clearing away those blockages and energies that don't serve us in ways that we may be aware of or not aware of, then like with your son, it just opened up his door to other wonderful things happening in his life, being an athlete now.
And you find people they're using their intuition through clearing. You're naturally tuning into your intuition and tuning into yourself and tuning into your natural abilities, which in and of itself, it creates a whole different, more fun, more incredible life than just being told and being told that this is the way things are supposed to be.
You're harmonizing, you're moving in flow with gratitude towards new things that are coming out for you in good ways. And if something doesn't good happen right away, just know that, it's coming. You know,
Sure.
just keep having that trust and faith that it will be here and it is coming. So can you tell me a little bit about the classes that you offer?
Yes, well, one of the classes will be here at SunGates next week, which is the Energy Clearing Circle. And that is a culmination of using that ancestral technique for sure, and using all the techniques that I love to do, you know, energy and helping people clear their own energy field, and a lot of the things that have been keeping us suppressed from, you know, that might be hanging out from our ancestors and lineage, and just teaching and showing people, and through actually just doing the work, just coming together, a group of people, and explaining that this is how it's going to work, and then just diving right in. Let's do it. And what's great about the Energy Clearing Circle is that you have as many people as you want, and everyone, even if you're not being worked on, everyone is receiving, because we all share pieces of this. Like I share pieces of what you're going through, the next person, and we're all receiving at the same time.
Right.
So somebody who wouldn't even be worked on might walk away with a clearing and realize that later what's going on, and didn't even get worked on when they were in the circle, which is just amazing to me that happens through this work.
Yeah, because we are interconnected, interrelated, and because that spirit emanates and moves through everything and everyone.
Right.
And so because we are connected in that way, what we were just saying is that they can benefit, even though they're not directly being worked on. Like even on the calls, it doesn't have to be in person, that there's energy still moving.
Absolutely.
And
This
people
work
can
can be
sense
done easily. It could be done over a video. It could be done just by speaking, like on audio. Like it's really amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And so for more information about the class that's coming with Jennifer next week, Wednesday at SunGates Center here in Wheeling, Illinois, you can go to sungatecenter.com and get further information. And so Jennifer, just in conclusion, what would you like to see happen with this work and why?
Well, I would like this to get out to as many people as possible, because it's simple, it's easy, it's just a matter of tuning in and teaching people how to tune into their own bodies, tune into what's going on within them, and how to release it in a way that's easy. And if we can bring that power back to the people, then you're actually joining up their power with the heart center. And through that, they're able to see the connections that they have all around them. And that just changes things. You become more aware, your relationships open up, your finances, your businesses, your careers, your soul purpose, all the things that line you up with harmonizing yourself with your authentic self. And so that's teaching people about their intuition, their energy, and all of that. It's incredibly
That is fantastic, just beautifully well said. And we're so excited. We're so excited to have you here and to do this work. And people releasing and uncovering what is no longer serving them, releasing those energy blockages, and then coming into their true power, because they already have it. It's just releasing all the things that are blocking them from living their highest and true best. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you again, Jennifer Burkhart.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
And thank you to our audience. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you, and bless you, and have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you.